Hello people of YouTube and welcome to my channel. Today is the 18th of May and it is one of two anniversaries that I will be mentioning over the course of the next 8 days. Because on this day last year I began my journey as a Transformer collector, and I felt I needed to just say a few words about how I became a Transformers collector, just as some small celebration of this achievement. But before we get into that, a little bit of housekeeping. This is a message for Mr. Hot Rodney Prime. Your antlers are ready. So I've been sending you messages on Google Plus and you haven't been replying to them. So if you haven't got Google Plus, get the app on your phone, sign in via your YouTube account, and then hopefully you should have some private messages from me via Google Plus, and then we can sort these little things out. But they're done, they're ready. Anyway, so yeah, Transformer collecting. 1 year ago I started doing it. My experience with Transformers before that goes back to my childhood. Back in 1984, when Generation 1 hit the UK, I was 11 years old, and I didn't have a lot of money, neither did my parents, so couldn't really afford to go out and buy the toys. I could only afford to buy a couple of mini Autobots, and the rest of the Transformers I had at the time were a combination of sort of, you could argue they were knockoffs, or sort of third-party bots I used to buy at the Saturday market, and Diaclone toys, because where I used to live in Rugby there was a shop called Gray's Sports, and they used to have a toy department in the back, and in their toy shop they used to stock the entire range of Diaclone toys, and I bought a number of Diaclone figures from there. I got a Robo Jaguar, I got a Watch Robo, a Chronoform, I got I think it was a knockoff Starscream, I think it was the King Damo 6 one, Jet Robo, and I got a Gun Robo, aka Browning. So I had those. That little collection of Transformers I had as a kid, I collectively refer to as the old gang. And I've managed to get replacements for some of those, because obviously those Transformers that I had when I was a kid, as I grew up, I lost interest in Transformers, and I think I gave them away to the kid next door who was also into Transformers. I also, because I couldn't afford to buy the toys so much, and obviously Transformers was a craze with all the school kids, all the kids at school had all the car bots and Soundwave and all the big Decepticon jets, and I couldn't afford any of that. But what I did have enough money for, was buying the comic, and I started getting the Transformers comic, the G1 comic, the Marvel UK comic, which started in October 1984. And I collected that comic religiously on a weekly basis, because I had a subscription with the local newsagent, so I used to go up the street and collect it every week. And I ran with that comic up until I sort of lost interest in Transformers in February 1989, when I stopped getting it. So that was like nearly 300 issues of the comic, and then I got it from issue 1 up to about issue 299. Anyway, in the early 90s, our family relocated from from Rugby to Leamington Spa, which is where I live now. And yeah, I lost interest in Transformers. But over the intervening years, my adult years, I have had a sort of a passing interest in Transformers via the medium of the cartoon. Was never a fan of the G1 cartoon, but there are other Transformer cartoon series which came along which I did have an interest in. Most notably Beast Wars. When Beast Wars came out, I can remember seeing episodes of that, and it being a CGI animated show, one of the first CGI animated shows to come out after Reboot, which was also done by Mainframe Entertainment. It was really cool to watch, and I really got into it. And as years went on, I haven't got a whole series, unfortunately. I have collected a few sort of DVD volumes of it, and taped a few episodes off the telly. And I've also seen a few other cartoon series. The Unicron trilogy, I watched a bit of Armada. Didn't really see anything of Energon, but then I've watched much of Cybertron, and I really like Cybertron. And obviously, as time went on, then the movies came out, and needless to say, I watched the movies, and I bought the DVDs. But I was also got into the old RC car collecting in the early 2000s, about late 2001, early 2002, and I sort of ran with that for a few years. And then I had to stop collecting RC cars because I got a mortgage, and that put pay to my disposable income. And but I still kept going to the NEC toy fairs, and I went to the NEC toy fair in 2007, and I picked up this guy. Transformers, Beast Wars, Fusel, Silverbolt. The reason I bought this is because, being a fan of the Beast Wars show, I really liked Silverbolt's character from the show, and I was at this NEC toy fair. There was a guy there who had a stall full of Transformers stuff. I was just having a browse, saying, "Oh, this stuff looks interesting." Then I saw this guy, and I thought, I've just got to have him. So I bought him. I think he cost me just under 15 quid, so like 14.95 or something like that. And I've had him ever since, and he sits on my windowsill, and I always keep him in alt mode, because I quite like the bird dog mode. And yeah, he's been part of my bedroom furniture since 2007. But as time went on, more recently, I got my YouTube channel, my other YouTube channel, and through that I started. I don't know how I got into watching Transformer reviews on YouTube. I think it was one of those things where, you get YouTube, it gives that thing where it suggests videos that you might want to watch. And somehow I started watching Graham the Collector 75. Now back then he was reviewing a lot of G1, G2 toys. And I watched a few of his videos, and then as time went on, YouTube kept suggesting more and more of his videos when he brought new videos out, and after a while I got interested in watching him, and I subscribed to his channel. And then I really got into watching him do this, and this was 2013 I started doing this. Then as time went on, I got more and more hooked on watching Transformer reviews online on YouTube, and then Auto Assembly 2013 happened, and then of course all the Auto Assembly videos came out. The ones before Auto Assembly, where people were giving their hopes and fears of what they were going to achieve, what they were going to get at Auto Assembly, and then the haul videos after Auto Assembly. And through that, I got interested in watching other YouTubers, like Stu the Mighty Grimlock, Bumble Jumper 82, Smizno, Vigadef, and a whole bunch of other popular YouTubers. And before you know it, I was hooked on watching Transformer YouTubers on YouTube. So as time went on, then I started getting more interested in looking at the toys. But I was thinking I'd like to have a go at doing this, have a go at reviewing toys, but I didn't have any Transformer toys apart from this guy. And one Transformer does not a collection make. But what I did have was an attic full of radio control cars, and I thought, I'm going to review radio control cars. So I set up my second YouTube channel, which is the one you're watching now. And I think I started it back in sort of late January 2014. With the full intention of starting it out as a channel for reviewing radio control cars. Now, when I was setting the channel up, and I was going to do a bunch of videos to open the channel, I was going to review like 4 or 5 different cars. And part of the reviewing process, because a radio control car, you can effectively drive it, and if you've got to review it, you've got to review it what it's like to drive. So I had to film these cars being driven. So I went down to the local park, took a bunch of cars, a load of batteries and chargers and control sets. But because I was doing it on my own, I was trying to film and drive at the same time. It was an absolute nightmare. I had a job to follow the car while I was driving it around, and One of the cars had an electrical fault and it went out of control and went shooting off into the bushes, and it was in a sort of like a dirt track car park, and lots of people kept walking up and down, people with dogs and cars going up and down, so it was a complete and utter disaster. And because of that, I just thought, right, okay, that's it, I'm not doing RC car reviews, because if I can't film the cars being driven properly, then there's no point in reviewing ready control cars. So that put paid to that. So then I was thinking, right, I've started this channel, what am I going to do with it? And as time went on, I watched more and more videos, and then I knew that the new Transformers movie, Age of Extinction, was coming up, and it had been announced there was going to be Dinobots in it, and I thought, well, I used to love the Dinobots back in the day. So I started looking at the toys that were coming out for the new Age of Extinction line, and that was when I saw Scorn. Age of Extinction Deluxe Class Scorn, and when I saw him, it was love at first sight. I had to say, right, I want that toy. If I'm going to buy one Transformer, it's going to be that one. Because Spinosaurus is one of my favourite dinosaur species, and I just love the look of Scorn, and I just had to have him. But then I decided, well, if I'm going to buy Transformer toys, I might as well become a Transformer YouTube reviewer. But first I had to buy some toys. And it was this day last year, on Sunday the 18th of May 2014, that I went over to Coventry to Toys R Us and I bought my first Transformer toys. And they were these guys. Constructbot Dinobots. And I bought 3 of them. I bought Strafe, Slug and Grimlock. And these were the first toys that I reviewed on my channel. Now obviously this is an anniversary of me becoming a Transformers collector, because it was that day, this day, a year ago, when I bought my first Transformer toys. And by buying these guys, I then became a Transformer collector, because now I had 4 Transformers instead of just 1. And 8 days later, I did my first reviews and posted them up on YouTube, which was on the 26th, which was a bank holiday Monday. But obviously, the 26th is 8 days away. So I will be doing another video on the 26th to properly celebrate the first birthday of this channel. But I felt that as this date was significant, being the day that I started Transformer collecting, I think I should make a mention and give some background as to how I started out on this journey. So that's basically what this video has been about. I hope you found it interesting, if a little boring. Sorry about that, but I just felt the need, I had to do something. So I will probably see you again in about a week's time. There is another toy that I'm expecting to come in the mail, which I might review in the meantime if it arrives. But apart from that, I will see you next week. Thank you for watching. Bye.